Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we look at movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Rebecca Reeds.
And I'm your host, Craig Fay.
And this week we are doing our audience choice, and you've chosen so well. We are doing Miss Congeniality, honestly, one of my favorite movies. I don't care. I don't care. Rotten Tomatoes, you can kick rocks. I don't give a fuck. This movie is perfection, in my opinion.
No, it had an outsized cultural impact when this movie came out. And it was
so
like,
good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like, yeah.
It honestly, I think it really holds up. You know what I mean? There's a couple moments where I'm like, okay, that's kind of, you know what I mean? I could have done without that, I suppose. But for the most part, I'm like, this whole movie holds up. It's a fun bop. I have a great time watching it every time.
Yep.
I was telling you right before we started, I was like, I didn't even have to watch this movie. I did because I wanted to again. But I think I watch this movie at least twice a year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Anytime I'm doing something, if I'm going to sit down and sew or I'm going to bake or what have you, I just go, I'm going to throw this movie on. It's just a throw it on for me. Because I know it. I can walk away from it and come back.
And you're like, oh, this fun scene.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, we're on this fun
or
scene
if
now.
I missed my favorite part, I'll just go back.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, gotta rewatch. What is your experience with this movie?
I mean, I definitely have seen it. I've seen it more than once.
Yes.
And yeah, it's like I didn't remember who the bad guys were. Like,
Hilarious.
Like I was just like,
no, I knew who we were defending. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
this
was
is
like-
crazy, but I don't care. I want to talk about this goddamn movie.
yeah, and I was just like, oh, it's weird that I don't remember how the plot is resolved, but I do remember so many moments of it. One thing that really jumped out at me about this on the rewatch was like you think I'm sexy, you want to date me. And I was like, is that from this movie? I just remember people doing that so much. And it was eye-opening for me to remember that it must have been because she did it in this movie, that's the reason people were doing it. But in my mind, it just became like this thing that people do. Like that's the tune that you sing when you go, you think I'm sexy, you want to date me. It sounds like sort of a child's mocking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, that was from this. That blew my mind.
Buddy, this movie slaps. So there's so many good moments in it. There's so many good scenes. The soundtrack is banging. It is banging. Oh my God. Anywhere USA. I've been singing it all morning. I can't stop. It's an absolute fucking bop. 1 in a million. Are you serious? Come on. Iconic. The whole movie's iconic. Okay. So before I get too off the rails, or if you've never seen Miss Congeniality, first of all, what are you doing? I throw my shoe at you. Okay. I throw my shoe at you. Stop this madness. Watch Miss Congeniality. It's a bop. It's quick. It's great. It's very good. We got Sandy B. Come on, classic Sandra Bullock movie. One of our top ones. So we have Sandra Bullock. She's playing Gracie, who is she's always been and honestly a character that I sympathize with, certainly, but let's say a less feminine woman. Okay, she's been out here kicking ass since she was a kid. She does not have any interest in, doing her hair, doing her makeup, none of this stuff. She kicks ass and loves her job. That's what she likes. She loves her job. She makes a wrong call. She goes against her boss's orders when they're doing a little sting operation, trying to get a disc. Then she gets put on desk duty. Then they're getting letters from this bomber called the Citizen, and kind of claiming that he's going to target the Miss USA pageant. So they're like, okay, we got to get in there. We got to see what's going on. We're going to need to bring somebody in we need to have access to every room and every platform. So we're going to have to put somebody in this competition. And apparently the only other attractive woman is pregnant or is out on maternity leave. So they can't use her. And they're like, well, I guess we'll get this shitbag Sandra Bullock. Let's just polish this turd up, which is a hilarious statement, and I don't care. The 90s were dripping of that, and I will eat it up every time. She's all that me. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't care. I love a makeover montage. I very much enjoy it. Anyway, so then we have Michael Caine playing Victor. He comes in to help Gracie out, to help her, get up to snuff in a weekend, and he doesn't even think he can do it. He's like, "There's no way. She's too unrefined." There's just, and in some instances I do agree with him, and in some instances I do not. But they get her all ready. They get her in there. She is very resistant to, the pageantry. She's very resistant to anything, pretty much anything, anything that's happening to her. She doesn't want to be doing this, even though it is her job, and it would be good to do it with a willingness to, want to save lives.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get into all that. We'll get into all that. Anyway, so then we have the heads of we have the heads and the hosts of the Miss USA pageant, which is Kathy and Stan. And Kathy and Stan are both getting fired because they're too old and they want fresh new blood in there. They're like, we want something new, fresh, hip. Probably our ratings are dropping or what have you. Like, you guys need to kick it. And they're not really dealing with that. Well, I guess Stan's dealing with that fine. Kathy's not really dealing with that great. And she also does not want Sandy B up in here. She is very resistant to this. She does not want this. Her son's an idiot. And also her assistant, which is then later revealed that he had changed his name to hide all of his past indiscretions. And they are actually the bombers, and because she's all pissed off. She's like, well, you want a hot show? I'm going to make it hot. I'm going to blow the head off the winner of Miss USA, which is a overreaction. I feel we could all agree on that. But they catch the actual citizen. And I'm sorry, I'm giving so much detail because I've watched this movie so many times. Anyway, I'll try and keep it shorter. They catch the citizen. The boss wants them to leave. Sandy B's like, no, I feel like there's something still going down here. She saves the day. We arrest the bad guys are arrested, and Sandy B learns an important lesson about womanhood and friendship.
And she hooks up with fucking what's his name? Benjamin Bratt.
Yes, which is not my favorite, but it's fine.
He's there.
He's present. I don't really get. I don't get that particular. Like I did before, and now I just think. I've just.
Now you're like this movie didn't need a man.
Well, yeah, and also that guy's kind of a dick. I'm like, you're just kind of a dick. You're around, you're kind of a dick. You got a smirk on. You're hot, so it's like passable, I guess. That's how it worked. Anyway, did I miss anything?
No, I think that was pretty
important?
much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a couple like other pageant members or whatever that pop up here and there and do stuff. But like, yeah, I think that's it. So obviously the villains in that are Candice Bergen, Kathy Morningside, and her son.
Yes.
One could argue Benjamin Bratt to a certain extent in terms of like not believing.
I would say more so her boss.
Oh, yeah, Ernie Hudson.
Yes, so I would say he would be
the fourth best Ghostbuster.
Buddy, this cast is kind of stacked up. There's a lot of people in this movie. It's good.
Actually, yeah. I was like, right, Michael Caine.
Michael goddamn Caine. Come on.
Yeah, legitimately. Yeah, William Shatner.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Captain
and he's
Kirk.
Perfection.
He is
exactly good. Perfection for this role. I'm like, this is exactly cast perfectly.
The weird old crooner, like
yeah, but he's so like he's
jovial and like not taking himself too seriously. Yeah, William Shatner's
these corny jokes and really trying to sell them. Perfect. He's nailing it. You couldn't get better casting for that. And Michael Caine is just allowed to do whatever he wants whenever he wants. Okay, you know what I mean? Any role, get it, my guy. So okay, let's dig in. Let's start with the boss. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this. I don't think, and I'm just going to keep calling her Sandy B. Sandy B, not a good agent, actually.
No.
And I'm going to break down a few things that happens here and why I agree with her boss, even though he's technically wrong at the very end.
Right.
So
this is the Russian sort of sting operation.
Yes, so we could start there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Russian sting operation, she ignores a direct order, and there's a reason he gave that order because we see why immediately afterwards. One of the like mobsters starts choking, and she wants to go over there and give him the Heimlich. Her boss is like, absolutely the fuck not. Do not do that.
Because there's guns drawn on either side.
Yes. There's guns drawn on both sides. Like, nobody move. This guy can choke to death. Like, if that's what has to happen here, that's what has to happen. You guys either lower your guns or, we'll all watch this man choke. That's fine. Whatever. And she goes, oh, no, choking to death is too good for him. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
It feels like a dumb way to die. I'm not saying if you choked on something or you choked to death, you're dumb, but it's like, I would feel embarrassed about, like, this is it? Like a fucking peanut?
Oh, I'd be looking down at myself like, you fucking idiot.
How many times have you swallowed?
Yes.
And you fuck this up?
Chew, motherfucker.
Like, I'm in an FBI standoff and I fucking choke on a peanut. That's how I'm going down. That's not stepping out in front of a bus accidentally. That's not a car crash. That's not, heart attack or something. That's like,
whether he even is choking, you don't know.
Yeah.
He could be faking it, okay? There's no reason to insert yourself here. She inserts herself, she gets a knife to the neck immediately, and then it gets another agent shot because all hell breaks loose.
Yes.
Okay, so that's really on her.
Yes.
So yes, I strongly believe she should be on desk duty for a minute. And that is really is kind of felt by her like it's an overreaction. And I go, I don't think that's this man is in the hospital, okay?
You got your coworker shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, there's a scene right after that where she uses her badge to like get to the front of like a Starbucks line and order a whole bunch of. So first of all, abuse of power. There's already going to be.
There are several abuses of power in this movie. Yes,
but there's already going to be several inquests and into your behavior and your professionalism as an agent. And to just be like throwing your badge around to get coffee, no good. But I will say, you absolutely need to be the fucking person to bring in coffee to the office the day after you get a coworker shot. Like, that is correct. Like, coffee is on her today. Absolutely.
Yeah,
she's doing the coffee run. Definitely.
No, I feel that. I brought in coffee for much less. Certainly. Much less.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, remember when I got drunk last night and told you all my secrets? Here's some coffee. Sorry, you didn't need to know all that about my aunt. Okay, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Coffee, some cakes. What are we doing here? Yeah. Come in nice. I wouldn't be pushing back on nothing.
No. And then her boss is like, you fucked up. You're on desk duty. There will be a formal investigation in 2 weeks. You're on desk duty until then.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, honestly, I think I'd be better served on the citizen case, right? I'd be more value there. And it's not about being of value.
Yeah.
It's like Ernie Hudson gives Benjamin Bratt the lead on this team.
Because he followed the orders.
He did well. And you don't get rewarded. You don't get put on the good, cool, hot, career advancing case because you disobeyed orders or in spite of disobeying orders. You got somebody shot. Like, just a little tail between your legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that is a part of her character, is that she's very blunt and, all she sees is the job. But if all you see is the job, you gotta calm down. The job is asking you to calm down. There's a couple other things she does that nuts. Okay. The second thing I want to bring up, and what makes her boss come in, is she jumps a guy in an audience in I think they're in Texas. They're like, yeah, everybody has a gun here.
Yeah.
She jumps a guy for having a gun and he was just reaching for a lighter. Okay, first of all, you're not picking up good cues here. Okay. You shouldn't jump unless he literally pulls out a gun. Do not jump on anybody. Also, you're looking for a bomber. That's who you're looking for. This is a bad call.
Yeah.
Your excuse is a bad call, saying, we gotta tighten down on people smoking. That's one of the pledges of Miss USA. We're just really trying to get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to call some attention. That's also, if you're reaching, because that reaches out past general filming, in the sense of that would make the news.
And it did.
Yes, and you're a federal agent. You can't be on the news.
Yeah.
You're going to be found out. This is bad. This is not going well. We need to pull you out of this. I agree. She also, and I think this is actually the worst one. This is the worst move she does in the movie. She pulls her gun. You knew I was going to say that. Yes.
Yeah.
She pulls her gun on Victor, on Michael Caine. She pulls her gun out because they're having a conversation she doesn't like.
Yeah. You are undercover right now.
Well, not even only undercover,
and
but
this is a guy helping you be undercover.
No. Yeah. You can't pull your gun out unless this is your life.
Yes.
Like, unless your life is at risk. There's a reason I'm not allowed to own a gun. Okay? And it's for that. I can't have a gun, man.
Yeah.
I can't get heated, okay, and then have a gun. Well, I would never. But you know what I mean? There's a reason.
Yes.
Okay, you can't be that hot-headed and own a gun. That's her job.
Yes. And I
believe you're good at your job.
And I guarantee you, in the FBI, I'm sure, and as I'm sure, and many other law enforcement have, you have to fill out paperwork anytime you unholster your weapon. You
would think.
Like they are like, yeah, we want to know if you've pulled your gun out of your holster and held it against somebody's head, because you shouldn't be doing that. We need to document this sort of thing.
Buddy, if that was like a banana, I still need to go to therapy. Like, you can't be whipping out things on people. Can't be whipping out things on people.
A banana is pretty. Banana, I would say, is borderline for me. If I was holding a banana and I was just like, listen, Rebecca, you need to understand.
What if I whipped that banana at you?
If you whipped it at me, no. But pointing a banana at somebody a banana is inherently funny. It is.
It's the funniest of fruits?
It is the funniest of fruit. I mean, like, without getting too exotic, like a dragon fruit or something, you're like, I don't know, what the hell is that even? But like it's yellow. That's a ridiculous color for anything to be.
That's so funny. Your second thought was dragon fruit?
It's kind of, yeah, I don't know.
Do you ever see those? Okay, sorry, I'm really off the rails for just 1 second, but do you ever see those videos of people that are like, oh, if you really need to shit, just eat a dragon fruit? And I'm like, I think if you eat a dragon fruit and you immediately need to shit, you are not getting enough fiber. That is not the right.
You're not supposed to eat dragon fruit then.
Yeah, I'm like, that is not the reaction your body should have to that. No. You need more fiber in your diet. Things are going wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, I ate this one piece of fruit and I shit my brains out. I'm like, you're either allergic.
Yeah, that's not
or you're fundamentally not getting enough fiber. That's a PSA.
Yeah, if something makes you shit right away, that's not good. That's not healthy and balanced. That's a food allergy. Yeah, absolutely. So point a banana. That's hilarious. Okay. I can't think of anything funnier than a banana. But
I think
you're right.
Grapefruit's pretty funny for some reason.
Or grapefruit is pretty big. I think also if you're pointing it at someone, a bunch of grapes.
You shaking a bunch of grapes at somebody would be fucking hilarious.
Because it's like more than one.
That's so funny.
And it kind of jiggles, right? Like so it's... And it doesn't have... They're all round. Thing. It doesn't really have a point.
No, that's good. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to use that in my next argument.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shake grapes at somebody and see how long we can both not laugh at
A couple of them are bound to fall off, like, as you go. Yep.
Nope. Love it. No, that's the one. You
Highly
found it.
context dependent, but grapes are pretty funny. No, that she is unhinged at that point.
That's crazy.
And yeah, to your point,
That's crazy.
It's like she has a lot of stressors right now. Like, one, she's had a lot of beauty things done to her in a very short amount of time.
That is a lot.
Which I think you would probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, usually space out.
Okay. Yes and no. Because when I was watching that scene, I always laugh because it always reminds me of like the 2 days I do before I go on vacation.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm like, it's all prep. Nails need to be done. Legs done. Face done. Hair done. You know what I mean? You want to be looking fresh, looking pot. But you also, you do that so you don't have to deal with it later
For the next week or whatever.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because I don't want to be clipping my nails in Cancun. You know what I mean? So that scene always reminds me of what women do to get ready for vacation.
Okay, fair enough.
But that, I would say that it is
Some of it was
regular.
like some of it's like regular maintenance stuff that maybe doesn't always
And if you're doing
happen
that
on the same
all
day.
at once, that's tough because
Yeah.
it's like I've been waxed. You know what I mean? I've been waxed before quite a bit. The first one hurts the most because everything's you know what I mean.
Everything holds on a little harder.
Oh yeah, she's in there deep. Okay, she's in there deep, and you know the more you wax, the thinner the hair kind of gets over time. And I don't think that's made up. Like I genuinely, I'm like, no, you do start to notice a difference.
It's one of those things that science is like, it doesn't change. I'm like, but it does though.
But it does. I'm sorry. It does. It feel like I don't believe if you start like plucking hairs, they grow in darker and darker because that's the thing. They're always like,
Yeah.
if you shave, it comes back darker and darker. I'm like, no, you just get older. Okay. You get older over time and things get darker and more hair pops up and this is just what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say when you're getting waxed, the first one, you're like, Jesus Christ. Especially like a bikini wax.
Yeah.
Although not full Brazilian, so you're fine. You're okay. Buck up. But I love that we're looking at gorgeous Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that bugged me so much because
You have to buy into the movie. You have to buy in. You got to turn off the thing in your brain that goes, what the fuck?
Yes. No, but okay, just as a straight, like, warm-blooded man, okay, watching this movie.
warm-blooded.
I'm warm-blooded.
Oh, God. Not that.
Does that mean something different than I
No,
think
it always sounds creepy to me. I don't know
okay.
what, like, there's just a thing to that where I go,
Fair enough. I had a thing where I was like, wait, maybe warm-blooded doesn't, like, to me it just means, like, I'm alive, so, like, obviously I'm going to notice this.
I just think it's creepy because it's always followed by
Yeah,
something
but the
where I'm like,
creepiest thing,
God.
as a warm-blooded man.
Yeah. Like whatever
no.
you're about to say, I'm probably not gonna like.
No, well, first of all, okay, so they're like, yeah, she doesn't like. She's eating like a slob, or she's like got her hair in a ponytail. Oh no, whatever. Wearing oversized suits, like whatever. That's all like whatever. Like that's how you're presenting yourself. That's fine. But I do not understand because there is a scene where her and Benjamin Bratt is it Benjamin Bratt? I always get that. Yeah. Are like in the gym, and she's like boxing and like they're wrestling, and she is wearing athletic like clothing, like a tank top and like I don't know if Lululemon was a thing when this came out, but like tight sweatpants, right? And I don't understand how anybody would be like, oh, but she's ugly or not, or like it's like no, this is a woman. Like a fit woman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like attractiveness all aside, you go, that is a fit young woman. Mm-hmm. Right? And I don't understand how they're like, her in a bathing suit. It's like, she just fucking kicked the head off of a dummy in a boxing class. You know what I mean?
The defense I will make for this. Number one, I feel like your standards are different than some other men's standards.
Okay.
That's what so number one, okay. There are men out there that are like, oh, if you're not wearing makeup, you're gross. If you're not, like I had a guy tell me I look a lot better with my hair down. I really prefer it when you wear your hair down. Well, I really prefer it when you're not here. So we've solved that. Great. Kick. Absolute rocks. And then had the audacity to be like, what happened? I would have loved a goodbye. No, you said the goodbye. You said the thing, and then I said goodbye. The other thing is some of the, and I'm going to say this because this movie came out in 2000. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Exactly 2000. And the standards of what was liked and not liked, and like Jessica Simpson was considered fat, and like there was just a lot happening.
That's true.
Okay, there was a lot of weird shit going down where it was these unbelievably high beauty standards, and anything less was considered, non-celebrity or not hot or what have you. I will low-rise jeans. The fuck? Okay, the fuck is with that? Okay, none of these things. So the only thing, and I agree, she's gorgeous, okay? Obviously, she's gorgeous. It's Sandra Bullock, okay? But watching it, I go, okay, I'm going to give a small pass and go, okay, I'll buy into this because this is a 2000 movie.
All right.
I'm going to allow it. But
will.
also because this is, and anything I say negative about this movie, I need you to know, this is not what I believe.
Huge grain of salt.
Yeah, not what I believe. I love this movie. Okay, I think it's great.
I do also have issue with this computer program that they're super. I was like,
so funny.
I was like,
so funny.
Why? I understand why you have photos of employees.
Yes.
I especially if you're going undercover. I understand how you'd have to go through that. Why on earth is there body type information encoded in any of that? Because like the thing that they do, they take her in like, I would argue an oversized. It looks like she's part of the Talking Heads or something. Like
okay.
Little oversized pantsuit. And they like scan it down. They're like, look, she'd actually look good in a bathing suit. That information wasn't there. That information isn't in the computer
FBI
program.
AI, baby.
Like,
you
I
gotta
can
take a leap of belief.
Like, I can understand how you could take a bathing suit and superimpose it off of everyone, but it's not going to be form fit. You're not going to know what that person looks like naked. Or
that is an insane scene that makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
It is very funny.
Yes,
it's dumb. It is the one thing. If I could change one thing about this movie, what I would change is everybody being a horn dog. All the men being disgusting horn dogs the whole time.
Throwing popcorn at the screen.
Woo! Yeah! I'm like, gentlemen, a little professionalism. This is ridiculous.
These are your co-workers.
These are your co-workers. And even if they're not your co-workers, none of these women know they're being filmed in any capacity or that they're being watched. This is a changing room. Okay? We're out polite.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Like, that's so inappropriate. Well, all those men should be written up as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, and that's so one other thing I really want to point out about this movie is how bad the FBI is at solving this crime.
Buddy, there's a lot going down that's not good.
And a lot of this is baked into the premise where they go, the reason we need Sandra Bullock to be in this Miss America pageant, Miss USA pageant or whatever, is because we need somebody that can go everywhere. We don't have access to change rooms. We don't have access to all of this. But then they put a hidden camera on her so that they do have access, like all the men have access to the change room.
Yep.
And you go, okay, well, either you are allowed to put a camera in a change room, in which case you don't need an agent in there to do this, which by the way, as the movie shows, is hard. Or you have an agent in there and then you don't, because you're not allowed to use the camera. You can't, why have it both ways?
Comedy.
Yes, and that's what I mean. It's baked into the premise.
Comedy. It is comedic.
I would argue having somebody in the contest is one of the worst ways that you can that you have, quote, access to everything.
Oh no, it's so dumb.
Like
it's so dumb.
Like you could pay Sandra Bullock in a large pantsuit to sit in the change room.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on things.
Interview people.
Be
like, hey, we're investigating. We're just going to interview everybody.
Is there a chance that anyone here might have some grudge against this thing? Oh, you're getting fired. The person who owns it is getting fired, and her son has changed his name to hide his criminal background. I'm sorry, is that enough to fucking deke out the FBI?
Yes, apparently, yes.
And you know how they get that information?
From Victor.
The guy who has been like, I know this pageant inside and out. Oh, so you decided to hire Victor to bring your I'm using very exaggerated air quotes here, homely coworker up to beauty standards. And you never thought to ask him about his entire history with this pageant. And he literally says, I know everything about it. I know everyone's dirt. Oh, then sit that man down for an interview.
Yeah. His time would have been better spent doing that than, waxing legs.
Because he's like, yeah, that kid is a fucking delinquent asshole screw up, and his mother's getting fired and she's bitter about it.
Although I love, this is another thing that I think is so funny, that this kid's an idiot, but he can make a bomb.
Yeah.
Detonator, everything. He's like, no, I got this. And it's like, how? What do you mean? How did we get to bomb? How did you get to bomb?
Yeah.
It does feel like a huge leap. Although this whole movie's a huge leap. So it's one of those things, I just allow it to happen.
Yep.
You got to turn off that thing in your brain. You got to do the exact opposite of what we're doing right here, right now.
Yes.
We are not here. You should not analyze. You should not look into it. You should not go, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let it happen to you.
Weirdly enough, I do feel like making a bomb is a thing idiots can do.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know
how to make a bomb.
I have no idea.
And obviously there's varying levels of sophistication, but I don't know. I think if you know the basics, you could figure it out.
You would also think if that was the case, you could, as the FBI, just look into his search history or something.
100%. That's it. That's the thing that's going to get him.
Looking up how to make bombs in this area.
Okay. Let me rephrase this. I do think an idiot can easily learn how to make a bomb. I think learning how to make a bomb without alerting the FBI is probably a different thing.
That'd be hard. You would hope.
That's hard in the surveillance state. But anyway, here we go.
Fucking hope. Okay. Now, we can kind of segue into, our main two villains here. What I will say, do I agree with bombing? No.
Blowing Miss Rhode Island's head off?
No, I don't think so. Especially not that woman.
She's so nice.
She's the best. She's one of my favorite characters in this movie. She's spectacular. Okay, she's 10 out of 10. A lot of fun. I love her arc also. I just think she's great. And very, it just feels like authentically herself as a character.
And innocent,
know what I mean?
and yeah.
Love her. And love that they were even questioning her as a suspect. They were like, oh, she's out here in this protest, whatever, maybe. Let's look into it. But what I will say is I too would be quite pissed if I built this thing. It feels like she built it from the ground up.
Yes.
Okay, this has been her life's work. That feels like something that you should decide you want to retire from and not get fired from.
I agree.
It just kind of feels like a situation where kind of feels like a Wheel of Fortune or something where you're like, no, I want to see the classic characters.
We want this every time.
I want Vanna White. Okay, I don't care how old she is. This is what I like. Okay,
it's Vanna till.
Yeah, it's baked in. Okay, I need this. This is part of the branding. Okay, we don't need, and it's some fucking executive that just got that job. that's firing her.
Just a huge fucking whiff of cocaine.
Yeah, and they're like, you know what? We need to change the game.
We need to make it young and hot, and Spider-Man needs to use TikTok.
Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, everybody needs to do everything. And it's like, just let this woman cook. Okay, clearly it's been going well so far. I don't think it could be that bad. Now, the fact that she's jumped to, we got to blow somebody up. Well, obviously you're a pretty bad villain.
Yeah.
Okay, you're pretty bad. Cannot defend that.
But she says, like, all I'm guilty of is trying to make the world a more beautiful place. You are ruining the ambitions of thousands of young ladies.
I think you were also maybe guilty of attempted murder. Would be my defense of that.
Yes.
Would be my pushback on that.
But I did want to kind of get your perspective on this because, like, one, the conflict that's sort of there is like Sandra Bullock comes in and is like, really, this is your idea of feminism? Like, you know, I'm a woman who's like an FBI agent, so not uneducated, and can kick ass and is a career woman.
Yes,
and that's sort of my idea of what being a feminist or a powerful woman is, and then. Candice Bergen's character is like, you're unrefined, you're whatever, like this isn't like a quote unquote beauty pageant, this is a scholarship thing, like this is a way for people to come up, and like I kind of can see that argument, but it also seems like horribly outdated, like, you know,
which way?
In the sense of like I can see that, like, I don't know, like let's say in the 50s and 60s, 70s, where you go like, listen, this is sort of, we're presenting kind of what we think is the ideal of like the perfect woman in so much as she is intelligent, right? She is educated.
She's beauty and she's grace.
She's beauty, she's grace. She's a lady. Yeah. And we're presenting these young women in a contest to go to college, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And be sort of these stand-up examples or these pillars of, you know, whatever. Maybe when a lot of women weren't going to college and weren't doing that.
Yep.
And to me, that sort of makes sense maybe back then. But like, again, year 2000, you're sort of going like, it's not like there's a bunch of barriers to higher education for women in the sense that where like now you have to be a bathing suit model and you have to have a talent and you have to, you know, like there's academic paths and stuff like, you know?
I think I have I don't honestly feel like I have a huge problem with unless that you all have to be adults. That's my thing. That's where the cutoff is. These are all adult people. Okay. They've all said, yes, this is what I would like to do. Okay. I'm fine with that. Okay. Where I struggle and where I have a deep, deep negativity on, I got child pad. Ew.
Oh, yeah.
Ew. But also, that's kind of a pipeline to this place. It's, I don't have a good answer for you, to be honest.
Maybe like teenagers where, you know, like 16, I could sort of get like, you understand what's going on. Like a little better and like you have a sense of what, like, no, but at 16, you can have a sense of where you want to head in your life and you can start working towards it. Like no one's saying like, you know, you shouldn't be in a high school play because you want to be an actor, but you can't decide what you want to do yet. Like, I agree being a child actor fucking sucks. But like, I can see that there being some level of pageant that is fine for like a teenager.
I'm not. I don't know. I have no answer here. I feel like, okay. So from when I watch this movie, the way I feel is, and why I like this movie is because Sandra Bullock starts out with a "I'm not like the other girls" attitude. And then gets to, I am like the other girls. We're all part of this. And I think that's the right answer, is that it's somewhere in the middle. Like, they make she even makes like a flippant joke about, oh, she can eat it, she's just going to throw it up later. And it's like, well, that's not a joke we should be making.
No.
That's an eating disorder. Okay, this is all there are really negative, bad things about that where they should be meeting her, and they do. Where we're all going to go out for pizza and we're going to have beer, and she makes them meet her in the middle too.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, you shouldn't be this, meek, shy person. Put your batons on fire."
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the whole point, is that both sides just need to meet in the middle, and you can be everything and have self-acceptance.
Yeah, and feminism is showing up for all women.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, not just the
if you're
ones-
excluding any group, it is no longer feminism.
Yeah.
It's just factually that. You know what I mean? If you're excluding trans women, it's no longer feminism.
Right.
It just isn't. It's for all, or it's not it.
Yeah, you can't be like, well, I reject being quote unquote beautiful in order to be a career woman. You go, well, then you can't exclude the people who...
You just can't look at that. Like, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
But you shouldn't look at those women like they're idiots and they're uneducated and I can't believe you like this stuff. That makes you a moron. That's not true.
Yeah.
So it's all about middle. Do I
Yeah.
think there's tons of negative things about pageants? Would I ever enter a pageant? Fuck no. Okay. Do I think it is your right if you like that and that's your vibe? Absolutely. But there's negative things that are surrounding it, like eating disorders, expectations, like unrealistic expectations of beauty standards. Of
Yeah.
like when you watch, like cheerleader tryouts and stuff like that. I think that's the same thing. It's like, well, these women are athletes. They shouldn't be worried about how thin they are. They're whipping through the air. My God. So you know what I
Maybe
mean?
you need a little core strength for that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You need an apple. Okay. You need to eat. Okay. Because you're burning an insane amount of calories and you shouldn't have another person walking around like fucking seeing if your stomach has an inch of give or whatever the hell they're doing.
Yeah, that's the give that stops me from dying when somebody catches me.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Okay, so I think it's all about middle. Okay, like the idea is that these two groups should be meeting each other in the middle, and it can't be all or nothing. And there's a couple of things where I'm like, honestly, I agree. You should be able to, not wear makeup and put your hair, like, I do that all the time. You know what I mean? I go out of the house all the time without makeup on. I wear my hair up all the time. I have very masculine outfits. I don't give a shit. Okay. But I don't look at other, women putting on makeup and go, oh, look at these idiots. And it's like, no, that's what you like. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine, but it was also, and to be fair, a lesson I also needed to learn. Because when you're growing, like I was like one of those people where I'm like, I'm not like the other girls. And then you get later in your life and you go, well, why was I thinking like that? And it's because you were trying to dodge the draft, okay? You didn't want to be a woman because you saw how women were being treated. So you're like, I can't be a part of this group. I don't want to go to Vietnam, okay?
Dodge the draft is like the best.
Buddy, that's exactly how it feels like. You're
great.
like, I don't want to be a part of this senseless war, but it's like, no, you're in it no matter what. It doesn't matter how you present. You are a part of this group.
Yeah, and I think actually, like one scene that I didn't remember and really stuck out to me on this watch is like when they are at the bar and Miss Rhode Island, I forget her name, Cheryl, is like, oh yeah, and like the professor, like I'm actually like very smart and I go to college for like, I forget what it was, but it's like, my professor wanted to talk to me about my grade or whatever, and as it is, he assaulted me, and she's just like, what? Like,
buddy?
And it was this moment of like, yeah, it kind of is happening to everybody regardless of like that was a moment where you saw sort of Sandra Bullock's character be like, oh, we're doing girl talk now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed because I think some people would watch that scene and think that's so unrealistic. And I need to tell you, that's the most realistic part of this fucking movie. The amount of people I have people, not even just women, men too. The amount of people I have spoken to where I have to be like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You were attacked. You were assault. Like you got to put some big words on it sometimes. Like I'll go further than that, but I don't even want to say some of the words that I got to say. But like you literally, some people will just disassociate and go, oh yeah, that was just a thing that happens to everybody. And it goes, and you know, that might be true to a certain capacity, but it's also like, but that doesn't mean it should happen, and it doesn't mean that that wasn't awful, and it doesn't mean that there's not something we can be doing about that.
Yeah, and know that that's not okay.
It's not okay. We can't just breeze. And you know, comedians are the worst for that. We will just dump some trauma and be like, anyway, zippity doo. And you're like, no, we can't. And I do it all the time myself, even, where I'm just like, wow, yeah, just another day. And you're like, no.
Well, and this did happen to a conversation that we were having, and I'm gonna avoid all names, but it was like very clear. It was like, oh, I dislike certain people for much different reasons.
Oh yeah,
than
you're like,
you girls dislike these people for much different reasons than I do.
You're like, yeah, this person was kind of mean. And we're like, oh no, this person's going around sexually assaulting people.
Like, all right, I'm just gonna next round's on me.
Shit. Anyway,
not to make that dark, but Miss Congeniality, like a weirdly prescient and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a realistic moment in a movie that's very silly and over the top. Yeah,
ridiculous. I could watch that last scene, or the performance when they're in the finals. I could watch that 100 times back to back.
The wrestling,
the Anywhere USA, the 1 in a Million, that whole thing. I'm like, pour it on me. What's your favorite? What's your ideal date? Iconic.
Like, I fucked that up.
What are you gonna do?
You did, man.
Yes,
you did.
It is. I think it is for how sometimes serious it is, or they throw in all this comedy at these very serious things. I still think it is a movie that fucking moves. I don't think there's any fat on it. I love watching it every time.
Sandra Bullock is amazing.
She's so charming.
It's one of those movies where you're like, I'm not sure this movie works with anybody but her.
She is carrying a lot. I will say, you need that character to be beautiful, charming, a good act. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you need.
But also feels like a little bit like Girl Next Door.
No, she fucking nails this, man. The thing I will agree with Victor on is, you cannot talk with food in your mouth. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, live your life, walk how you want to walk, dress how you want to dress, talk how you want to talk, okay? You can say yeah. You don't need to say yes. I get it. I think I don't even correct people when they use words completely right, because I'm like, if I got it, I don't need to. You know what I mean? Somebody says the wrong name or something, I still know what we're talking about. I'm not out here correcting people. I don't give a shit.
Communication is a two-way street, 100%. I should do my best to make you understand what I'm saying, and you should do your best to understand what I am trying to say to you.
Absolutely. But the chewing thing, I got a hard... I gotta agree with him on that. I think he was being over the top on a lot of other things, and I get it. Like, there are things that need to be corrected. Yes, if I'm going to put you in this pageant, here is the way you need to speak, and here is the way you need to walk, and here's the things that you need to do. And you don't have to be
this way. You need to play this character for a weekend.
And that was the thing, watching this with like a critical eye. I kept going, it's your job. If you love your job and all you care about is the job, do not resist this. Play a character. There's a different version of this movie where she's too over the top and plays it too over the top, and then starts to realize that these are real women in front of her, real people.
Right.
Dynamic.
She's playing the bimbo.
Yeah, she's playing a moron, and then realizes like, oh no, that's actually not the game here.
Yeah.
That would, in my eyes, be a little more believable as somebody that, is ride or die for their career and what have you. Yeah.
Well, even right at the end, there's that one contestant who we have not seen throughout the entire thing who just runs out and is like, this is for all the lesbians out there. I love you, baby. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And they like wrestle her off stage. But I was like, oh, so you were coming also with sort of an agenda, and like a thing to prove, and like that's there's these complicated women here, like it's
and I know that was probably meant as just like a comedy beat of like, oh, she was gay the whole, but I'm like, oh no, like even in the control room where I think the guy makes a little quip or something like that, and a woman in the room goes, and what would be the problem with that? So think about it. Anyway, as much as I've just spent, the last hour or whatever criticizing this movie, I love this movie. It is, and I don't know if it's just pure nostalgia. I don't care. Let me be blind to it. I will continue to watch this movie probably twice a year for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I did forget that it was heading this way. But the other thing I need to blame the FBI for, and Victor to a certain extent, is they're like, what do you mean she doesn't have a talent? Like, listen, you're an FBI agent. You can come up with a talent. I forgot this is how it was resolved when they drink all the glasses. First of all, you can refill those glasses. It's not...
Oh no, but you have to have them like they've
a certain level. I guess that's true.
There's no way you could fix that fast enough.
Fair enough.
I would agree. That's a plot point I agree with.
Yeah. Okay.
If they have drank from those glasses, you had them leveled.
Yeah. That's
you knew which ones made which noises.
2,
like you can't.
That is an impressive talent. 3, it's like, yeah, she's an FBI agent. She knows self-defense, and I forgot that is the way that they resolve that thing. And I was like, she could be a marksman. She could be like, I was like, I don't know anybody who wouldn't have a talent that they could do for that.
I do like the way they subtly introduce that though earlier in the movie.
Yes.
Where she's doing it at the table and it's driving them crazy. And I'm like, honestly, I watched this after watching Madam Web. I was like, what a nice way to just drop something in casually. Great writing. Thank you.
What artistry
to just kind of show us instead of shoving it down our throats with exposition. Anyway.
Check out our Patreon if you want to hear us talking about Madam Web. I think it's going to be vicious.
Anyway, I think, again, a bop. I think the boss is absolutely right.
Yes.
I think the boss is right, even though with his action, it would have gotten that lady's head blown off. And he's kind of flippant at the end about like, well, he just got his girlfriend to sign it. I'm like, have you not, or to lick the envelope? Like, it was a woman's saliva. Maybe we should look into this a little more. And it's like, maybe question that guy a little more. We should have that information. I don't know. It's probably his girlfriend. Is that how we're solving crimes out here? It was probablys, maybes. Like,
did anybody ask Victor a question? Did anybody do a background check on anybody in this pageant?
Talk to their bosses. Maybe we should have got the whole ranking system through here to figure out what's happening. Yeah. I don't know.
They were real bad at solving this crime.
But I agree with him in the sense of like, Sandy B's not doing a good job.
Nope.
She's not doing a good job. She ends up being right at the end. She's good at like hunches and these sorts of things, but she does need to learn how to do her job better.
And follow orders.
And I don't think I would say I agree that you should be mad you are being fired. I feel like that is unjust. I disagree with that. Where you lose me is the murder.
Yeah. And also to a larger extent, just I've built this my entire life. I'm no longer going to be in charge of it, so I'm going to burn it all down. It's like, no, there's like a legacy to be proud of. There's
Yeah. Just blow up that do it. Just blow something else up. You don't have to blow people up.
Yeah.
If you really need to blow something up.
Blow up something.
Anyway, point being is that I disagree, but I can see your anger. Absolutely. Are we ready to rank that villain?
Yeah, I've got a ranking here for it's the weight Sandra Bullock is hot scale.
Okay, great.
Which is on a scale from but Sandra Bullock drives a bus to but Sandra Bullock is a mean boss.
Yep.
I'm going to give Kathy Morningside,
So funny.
Candace Bergen here, but Sandra Bullock is a sexy small town witch. Yes, obviously it's her.
Sexy. That's so funny. That's so funny.
Everybody could tell it's her.
Yep. Yeah, another banger. That's also in rotation. Absolutely. I have the just because I cannot stop singing Anywhere USA. I did the American song scale. So
Right.
from the national anthem, boo. We've been doing that a bit up here. All the way up to Born in the USA. I am going to give her Party in the USA. Explosive.
Great.
Explosive. Fantastic. I'll put you on anytime.
Love it.
Love Party in the USA.
Little Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, what a great song. Anyway, but also I disagree. So, and before we get to our heroes and villains of the week, as always, there's a couple of ways you can help out the podcast. If you would like to, we just mentioned it. If you want to listen to our bonus episodes, I have picked Madam Web to continue on my bad movie streak. You can hit us up on patreon.com/thevillainwasright, where we post 2 bonus episodes every single month. We also have ad-free tier. We have audience choice. This was an audience choice. If you were like, I would have chosen a different movie, you can hit us up on Patreon. And if you would like to follow us somewhere.
Yeah, you can follow us at Villain Was Right on TikTok, Instagram. I think we're still on Facebook. And
I think we're still on Facebook.
we still post things there.
We do that.
Yeah, you can follow us there. And if you have suggestions of movies you want us to cover, probably best way to do that is villainwasright@gmail.com. We do read everything. We're not the fastest at getting back, but it's in a list. We do review it. So head on over there, villainwasright@gmail.com. And thank you to everyone who listens and recommends us to your friends. We love you. And now it is time for our heroes and villains of the week. So I've got a hero this week. It's a clothing shop called Wardrobe for Men.
Hilarious.
Right. And
That's where men shop.
yes, and that is one of the large reasons that it is my hero, because so many people have heard it like, I needed to get, our producer Andrew, he's getting married like next week as we're recording this. I'm the best man, so I needed to go get a suit because someone's gained a few pounds.
Hey, me too, buddy.
And I was like, I need a suit, and so I mentioned, where I got it. It was like, that's a store near my house. It's called Wardrobe for Men. And Kat and Jocelyn from Kat, my partner, and Jocelyn, her co-host from I Hate It But I Love It, were just losing it laughing at the name of this place, because it sounds like you're an alien being like, yes, I got my clothes from Wardrobe for Men.
Yeah.
But I also just recorded my special, and I went there to get some nice clothes for that taping, because again, I've put on a few pounds.
Hey.
And so needed to kind of update it. And let me just say, I keep going there because they are just the nicest, best people. Small little shop. They there's a husband and wife who kind of run it. They're just so nice. I got these things, and they're like, "What do you need this outfit for?" Whatever. I'm like, "Well, it's for TV." So when I'm filming, I can't have any busy patterns or because things like that's trope. And they're like, "Oh my god, that's so nice." And they're like, "Well, you know what?" So I bought a pair of pants. I bought a shirt, and they're like, "Well, here, take a pair of socks for free, since it's a big TV thing." And I was like, "Oh, I can't possibly, whatever."
Couldn't possibly.
And then Kat actually came to approve the outfit.
Oh,
and she
that's
was like,
so cute.
And she was
Craig,
like,
you're adorable.
And she was like, "Okay, I'll pick one for you." And then there was these little socks here that were like watches.
Oh yeah, you showed me those. Those
Yeah,
are
and I was
cute.
like, if you know me, I like watches. So I was like, "Oh, this is a little serendipitous." Okay, so I'll wear those, and I wore them for the taping. So they are so, so nice. And I've bought a suit and some other clothing from them in very recently. Mm-hmm. But the funniest thing by far is realizing that men's tailors, like hemming pants and shortening sleeves and that sort of thing, is absolutely an emergency industry. Like I
yeah.
bought them and they were like, oh, okay, so what time do you need these tomorrow? And I was like, tomorrow, my man, I need this like next Wednesday. And he's
Yeah.
like, thank God.
I love that this man is so used to people coming in. I needed it
That's what I
yesterday.
mean.
My wife's so mad at me.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like how many? And I was
so
talking to
funny.
him, and the suit, the same thing. He's like, well, when's the wedding? Is it like this week? And I was like, no, this is the end of the month.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, bless you. Like, thank you so much.
Bless you.
Yeah, he's like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.
so
and I was
funny.
like, do you have this happen a lot? He's like, all the time. It's like I had a guy come in. He's like, I need this for tonight. And I was just like, oh.
Spends
like,
cortisol's just through the roof every day. Like, God damn it. Get the machines running.
Yeah, we got it. And he's like, I do my best. Honestly, I do my best. I want to make all my customers happy.
That's funny.
I want to make all my customers happy. But this guy came in and he's like, I need it by tonight. He's like, well, I'm going to charge you an extra $50 for that, man. Like, come on, and I was like, fair. But he's just, anyway, had a long conversation about how no man has ever gotten anything tailored.
No man's ready.
No man's ready. It's like men's fashion is a last minute. It's like an emergency plumber is what I said to him. It's like they're calling you up when it's an emergency.
my
And he's like,
God.
absolutely right. So my hero of the week for being great and a source of many laughs. Wardrobe for men. Support local businesses, everyone. Support
so
local
funny.
business. Yeah.
That does not sound like a local business also. That just sounds like a big box, whatever.
No, well, yeah, just a little spot on.
Wardrobe for men. That's so funny. The amount of men I've seen at like weddings in pants where I'm like, that wasn't your first choice. You've had a morning. And I don't mean that with judgment. I too have had the amount of hard breakdowns I've had just getting dressed.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because that never changes from when you're a toddler. You know what I mean? When you're freaking out when you're a toddler because you're just like, no, I wanted to be a princess today. And then you get to an adult and you're like, no, I wanted to be thinner today. Yeah. Like, you're just like, why doesn't anything fit the way it's supposed to? And you're just having a full meltdown.
I have always said that men, if you want to know exactly what size you were on a given day and that you will never be again, get yourself a custom tailored suit.
Good Lord.
Because it won't fit again. It won't fit
it's
again.
just a thing. And you just gotta just lean in. Fuck it. I'm in lean in stage now. I just don't care. I used to have this mindset of like, no, I'm gonna lose all this weight and I'm like, no, I'm just buying bigger stuff now. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. I don't care. It's just what it is now. And if I lose weight, I'll buy more clothes again. That'll be fine.
Because actually, I'm Rebecca, and I kind of like buying
love buying clothes. So yeah, let's just keep it moving. Fuck it. Actually, I'm going to talk about not the same thing, but the same thing. My heroes of the week are you and Ivimey and the whole. I opened for Craig and Andrew for their special, and it was just, first of all, hilarious because the 7 o'clock you both you both annihilated on both shows, but the 7 o'clock was really something special. Okay, like it just felt like bang after bang after bang, and I just could not stop laughing because Ivimey didn't feel well, and he got off stage and was just like, did I do okay? And I was like, what do you mean, man? What do you mean? Did you miss all the applause? Like, what do you mean? But he was just had a fever and was like, I don't know, is this okay? Which killed me. The other, and you guys just fucking nailed that shit. It was just so nice to like watch and be a part of. And I just really, really enjoyed it. The other small hero of the evening, just because it made me laugh so hard, I think I was about to introduce you. I was about to introduce you because Ivimey went first on the first show, and then I was doing a bit of time so everybody could go to the bathroom, and because you don't want people getting up because you guys are taping specials, and we want it to look good. So I'm doing a bit of time in between the two of you, and more people got up than I thought were going to get up. So I had to do more time than I wanted to do, but here we are. And I'm about to introduce you, and this woman in the front row goes, wait. what's your Instagram? It was so funny. And I was like, and I gave it to her really quick, but I was also like, but this isn't about me, so please. Yeah. But it just made me laugh so hard because that's the only time anyone's ever done that. I was like, that's so hilarious. Yeah. So she is also my hero because I was like, that's the most positive heckle I've ever received.
I heard it from backstage. It delighted me because let's be honest, I even told you that day that you.
Oh, they were cooking.
Like it's like, but just you went out and you were like, listen, here are the rules.
Yeah.
Here's what's it, and then you got people laughing. And I was like, you were such a professional, Rebecca. Wouldn't have had anybody else. And thank you, by the way, to everyone who came out and everything.
It was such a good recording. Anyway, so you guys are my heroes. Aside, also that lady that yelled that out because I was like, that's so funny. But it was a great evening, and we all got hammered. Because on the way here, Craig, you kept being like, did I already tell you this? I'm like, buddy, if you did, I forgot. Don't worry about it. Keep the good times rolling. You can retell me everything from that evening because I gotta tell you, I got pretty drunk for the rest of the night. Anyway, yeah. So that's it for. Hey, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Rebecca Reeds on any platform of your choosing.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Craig Fay Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, CraigFay.com for show dates. Tune in next week where we are covering cats and dogs.
Hell yeah.
Little fun family cartoon, live action cartoon. Anyway, we're going to check that out. So stay tuned for that. And until then, this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you to get your bikini waxed in an airport.
The Villain Was Right was produced by Andrew Ivimey for the From Superheroes Network. For more great podcasts like this, as well as YouTube series, webcomics, and so much more, visit FromSuperheroes.com.